Hello everybody, welcome back to Evolve. We're going to be playing as Gorgon in this one. We're on the dam against Emmett, Bucket, Griff and Lennox. We have got the Robro team for this one. We'll do default for this particular one. There's no blue Gorgon skin unfortunately, so we can't really match them up. We are going to do damage resist as the perk and we'll get going. Weakest monster in the game, we'll start off by saying that. That's why we run defense. They do have the weakest trapper in the game though, with Griff. Suffers from his own design of being the very role that the monster targets, but only thriving when the monster's actually running away from him. So, you know, it is what it is. Robro team with Bucket and Emmett is essentially a mix of offense and defense. We've got offense with Bucket and defense with Emmett. Very decent all-rounder on the medic, so let's see. Lennox is also just kind of good. I wouldn't say there's any super synergies with Gorgon in terms of achieving damage and all that kind of stuff, but you know. If you are new to this, welcome. This is the 4v1 acing. We're going to get move speed straight away. We're going to be walking around the map, the wildlife to kill and eat. This little ring that you can see that's building up around the body. It's going to fill as we do so, and once it fills completely, we will be able to go to stage 2, which is when the fighting will begin. Stage 1 monsters are very weak, so we don't want anything to do with the party that is following us until we get that stage up, obviously. Something I do want to just bring your eyes to is animation quality and atmosphere of this game. This is from 2015, by the way. Back when video games were still good, but we're not going to go there, not straight away. I'm going to continue looking for food. You being right next to that isn't good. I think we've got distance here anyway, it should be alright. That's not good though. Yeah. He acts as a monster to turn them, it's fine, we'll get a move on. Very tough for me to kill, but the hunters can kill them quite quickly. Okay. Depends who's who. Shouldn't be doing this. Come on, get out. Get out, get out, get out. Stick a spider down there just to slow him down a little bit. That was really stupid, I shouldn't have done that. If we got domed there, we probably died. These birds again. I'm gonna get a bit more distance to where that spider is. Just do it here, it's fine. When we evolve, we gain ability points. You get 3 per evolution. If the ability's up, grab your 4th ability. We also gain size, HP and damage. We will take ability cooldowns, which is what this is, as we go into our fight here. Make sure the armor's topped up properly. In the coffee, we're not going to be able to bait the dome because he's actually quite close. You get a bit of isolate on him though. We're going to spider up there, it's fine. Try and get him in this if he's still up by the time we get over there. It's good. See where he went then. It's fine, we'll get out. Lost the armour. We did down Griff, so we do escape that down, so that's all good. I'm gonna melt pretty quickly as this monster though, so that's safe and sorry. Something I might show off here, just as they come through here. Gorgon can walkling. Don't know if we're going to be able to get a successful one off there. We might be able to actually. Potentially. Bit of a shit place to do it, but fighting the trap jaws at the moment. She starts fidgeting with the front hands. That's quite hilarious. Look how smooth the framing is on the mans, dude. I don't think I can get a leap here. I kinda can. We do get the big damage off it, so all good. This one. Get a colonist down. Needs to get a strike on somebody else that isn't Griff. Ideally. It's a miss on the Thunder Strike there from Lennox. I'm just going to outright kill Griff. When you get 2 strikes, which are them little white blocks, it's the same as Left 4 Dead. You die immediately. And it has just used is beacon though, so we do want to try and find where that is. There it is. Destroy that. Removes his ability to revive him. He should not really be staying here, I don't think, but you get that. Shit use of that, that's fine. Powering it on while he's not able to heal himself because of the spider. Good, that's going to be that. We'll take that, we'll get out. 4 seconds on Griff, so we don't want to be here now because we're going to get redurned. Less than half HP. We'll go and grab the final stage. Get a bit more distance up there. Good. We've got stage 3 now, that's the final stage. Well, we're huge. We've also got maxed out abilities. Well, you get 1 maxed out ability. You can pick and choose which one you want to max, obviously, but just do an even split because you've got all corners covered then. You'll notice with Gorgon, the hind legs are now massive. More relevant when she's walking backwards. Notice the lack of sliding feet along the floor as well. When we get into the light, see, as she moves. That's because the people that animated this game actually know how to animate video games, as opposed to the top of the async genre at the moment. But, you know, don't say anything. Can't speak ill of that game at all. You'll notice as well we also knuckle walk now, because her anatomy's actually just incorrect for the size that she is, which adds to the disturbing factor. The character, and how unnatural she actually is. You notice her hind legs are actually really long, like that one there, as opposed to her actual body, because her body doesn't change much in size through her stages. So now she leans forward and knuckle walks. Little bits that you notice, you know, you catch yourself looking at, adds to the atmosphere. Sound spike there as well. What Griffin can use to trap the monster. Let's get rid of all these. Send the spider in there. We are going to be able to get a decent mimic off here. We'll go up top actually. There's Griff. Good, we kind of get an isolate. All these, we kind of want to go for bucket here. Supports do have access to a cloak, which they can use to run off and buy the team a new wave by hiding from the monster at stage 3. So getting him down and knowing where he actually is quite a decent thing. for that buoy as well. Need to be careful here because we are taking real damage. Stage 3s are still beatable as we just took a decent amount, so we're actually going to get out. Again, just throwing it back into the pile as we do with every round we play this game, because this game's actually balanced. And it is actually a competently made ASIM. We don't rely on second chances, we don't rely on hand-holding. We don't rely on favouritism to one side for the sake of Twitch content. This game was actually designed for the basis of enjoying both sides of it. Same can't be said for the top of the genre these days, so, you know. It's what it is. Don't say anything about it though, fellas. That's okay. I just keep warning you about that because you'll be straw-manned into fucking oblivion. If you speak ill of the current mediocre slop that's taken over this genre and held it back for the past 10 years. Don't strive for better. Don't fucking dare critique shit games, you know. Become one with the herd. Eat that shit up straight out the trough like a good little pigger, you know. We're getting Griff out again now because we've actually got a full reset. We are doing alright on strikes. We'll mimic that. Yeah, we get a big isolate over there though. That's a nice little target. Capitalise on that mistake. Wouldn't be able to do that these days. You'd have iframes there. Sweet precious, you've strayed too far away from your team. Here's 80 seconds of iframes. It's just so funny to me, dude. And they try and justify that shit, it's hilarious. I could do with getting you in a spider, because Lennox's poke damage, which is what these sparkly kind of bullets are, is pretty strong, to be honest. Get rid of that buoy, because it's actually passively healing. Get the colonist as well, because he's can get very quick revives. They're kind of the same as Daisy in terms of how quickly they can revive. And it's back up, so we're going to get out of there because we are going to get another dome in a minute. See how we're being whittled down at stage 3, the strongest form of the monster as well. Again, because this ASIM's balanced. But you know, it is what it is. Because there's a lot of people that, you know, they see the videos against bots and, you know, they go on about... It doesn't happen every video, I will say that, but there are some people who come here every now and then and say, oh, the monster looks overpowered. It's overpowered, guys. You see how quickly they're stomping. You know, whilst, you know, in certain instances, or on these particular videos, the bots are making the most brainless plays imaginable, but, you know, that's the calibre of these people. And they try and say that the game's, you know, bad and imbalanced and all that kind of shit. I'm within the realms here of actually losing this because I haven't ended it as wisely as I should have done by going for downs and stuff like that. Because even at stage 3, it's particularly relevant with Gorgon, obviously, because Gorgon's she's the weakest monster in the game. You have to be quite wise even at stage 3 with the fights you pick. Some monsters like Behemoth, for example, the rock monster, and to a lesser extent Goliath, at stage 3 can jump in and throw the weight around a little bit. But Gorgon can't really do that. You have to be intelligent with the video game you're playing when you play as Gorgon. It's like, now we're going to go for Emmett, because we'll starve the team of heals. There we go. Then we're going to go for Bucket. Don't have any heals anymore, because he's going to cloak and run off, potentially get another wave. We're going to stick a spider there, because it'll get one in a minute. Good. We use you for armour. Robot parts, by the way, you caught a glimpse of the silhouette of them there. Because that's the attention to detail you're dealing with here as well. Spider in there. Give me a minute there. Shit. Get between them, good. 13 seconds. That's all the colonists gone. I'm gonna go for Lennox, get her in a spider so she can't shield. Hopefully. Try to go for the pin damage, it's fine. To get it right in the last millisecond. Is anybody being healed? No. I think everybody's coming back though, aren't they? I need to use this for armour. Now, what we can do is if we kill Lennox here, they're not going to have an assault for this wave, which is a big strongs for me. What do you? Eat you. Don't know where they've respawned though. It's over there somewhere by the sounds of it. Right on the other side. Okay, that's fine. We'll go over there. Let's get this out. Yeah. We need to get over there as well because we need to stop them from getting that. Good. Sent me Spider into orbit. I don't know where that just went. We go for bucket here because we don't want to get the cloak and run off the cloak effect. This is where Griff is unironically quite good. I'll do. Try and get Emmett in the spider. We've got 25 seconds. We could potentially do this. Where's he gone? He's bolting. 16 seconds. That might buy it for him actually. Seven seconds. No. There it is. Very close one. 16 minutes. What about that? Hope you enjoyed as always. Bit of the, you know, we dipped our toes into the unsavoury, as it's been labelled. I just call it criticism of, you know, stuff that's shit within this genre. Because, you know, if you look at what you have to do, fellas, is you have to go into it with an open mind, right? Because I know there might even be some people out there who like Dead by Daylight who've just randomly discovered this video, you know, and here I am shit talking your game. But it's for the benefit of all of us at the end of the day, what I'm doing, or the way I see it inside my mind. That's the way the inside of my mind works, yeah? Because I'm calling out something that's fucking inferior, right? Because it is. The reason, it's very easy to say that, you know, when you make a claim like that, oh yeah, no, it's not inferior because it's got loads of content in it and all this kind of shit. The only reason Dead by Daylight is alive, and this is common knowledge, everybody fucking knows this, the only reason Dead by Daylight has made it to where it is because it's got fucking Michael Myers in it. That's it. Yeah? Before Michael Myers got added to that game, nobody fucking knew what it was. Nobody knew what it was, you know? And if Michael Myers didn't come to that game, it wouldn't fucking exist today. It wouldn't. Yeah? Because it's fucking boring at the end of the day, you know, in comparison to stuff like this, where you're fighting giant alien monsters that are mutating. The next monster they were adding to this game, back in the day before it got cancelled, was a big fucking worm, mate. And this feeds into what I said the other day, when I said every monster in this game is actually unique. It's not content recycle. Take Springtrap that they're adding now. Springtrap is a Dredge / Huntress clone with a little bit of unknown sprinkled in with the axe. That's it. Nothing new, nothing groundbreaking like they fucking said it was going to be on the stream. Fuck off. No. No. You've recycled 3 killers once again. You know? Just recycle content over and over. Here, to give you the example, you've got your first monster, which is very bread and buttery, Goliath, right? Up front, fighting monster, brawler is described as. Team monsters, brawler, right? You can breathe fire, you can throw rocks, you can charge forward, you can leap forward, right? So you've got a good versatile set of moves in these kit that are all direct, blunt, upfront damage, right? To ease you into how to play monster in this game. Basic attacks, right? Then you move up to Kraken. Kraken is a flying monster, a monster that spends most of its time in the sky, and it turns into sort of a top-down kind of attack playstyle, where you are casting lightning onto them. You're placing banshee mines as traps around the map. You can place them in, right, you can fire them directly at the hunters, but you can also pin them to terrain, so you can trap them in certain instances. You've got a massive AoE electric field that you can cast around you by dive bombing out of the sky into the hunters and then coming out again, you know, so you've got an in and out strategy there. And you've got Vortex, which is a positional based pushback ability, so you can dictate on where they are if they get hit by it. You know, you can punish them for standing in certain places, you can push them off ledges into massive isolated areas by the distance of it, and then capitalise on that with your lightning strikes, stuff like that. Then you've got Wraith, a cloaking slash stealth based monster who can split herself in fucking two into a decoy whilst you yourself go invisible for massive positional gameplay in terms of, you know, what you can do with it. You can use it offensively, you can use it defensively to get out of situations. She's got Abduct, which is one of my favourite abilities in the game. If you max rank this, you can literally sprint, or, well, I say sprint, just flying. You know, you can traverse about half the length of the map at stage 3 if you max rank this. Pick up a hunter with a skill shot kind of snipe ability if you land it on them, and then you pick that hunter up and you take that fucking bastard all the way back to where you were when you initially casted it, and that is basically a free down, and you are rewarded for landing that skill shot. She also has Supernova, which is a bit more of a bread and buttery kind of ability, where you attack very quickly. This punishes grouping up together, because you'll literally get turned into a fucking blender if you stand in front of her, because we punish, you know, both sides of the game for playing it in this one. And obviously she's got Warp Blast, which is a bit of a more high risk kind of ability, where you throw yourself forward, and then once you reach the end of the range, you detonate yourself, and any hunters caught in there, they take damage. We've got Behemoth, a literal fucking living boulder, right, that can roll around the map. If you're not noticing what's going on here, we've had 4 monsters mentioned, 4 monsters with distinct ways of traversing the map. So this one goes around as a fucking boulder. You can cast a big dam-sized wall, defensively or offensively. You know, you can fire a lava bomb, which is like a mortar-based ability off ledges, and you know, you fire it at the monster, at the hunters, and then you can get direct hits with it, or you can get DOT AoE area denial basically by the lava bombs that actually pop out of it. He's got Tongue Grab, which is similar to Wraith's Abduct, but it pulls. He doesn't move. He pulls the hunters to him, and then obviously wall up, and that's his kind of strategy. And he's got Fissure, which is a straight line knock-up ability because he is the displacement type monster. And then you've got Gorgon, who can summon spiders. She's a spider monster. She can wall cling to ledges. She can split herself into two, similar to Wraith, but it's more of an attack-based ability. It's basically a flip side of Wraith, where you can detonate that mimic itself. You take control of the decoy in that instance, you know, which leaves you vulnerable, obviously, when you're actually casting it. She's got Web Snare that slows hunter movement speed and deals DOT over time, and she's also got Acid Spit to provide area of denial and all that kind of stuff. Every monster in this game, bar the two mutations with Meteor Goliath and Elder Kraken, the two variants that they did, every fucking monster, Goliath, Kraken, Wraith, Behemoth, Gorgon, are all fucking unique. Yeah? And then the 6th monster, as I mentioned a minute ago, the Velvet Worm that they were going to be adding, was a fucking worm that could tunnel under the ground. You know? So we would have had some kind of stealth-based, you know, tunneling, where obviously from the hunt perspective, the way I see it working in that regard would be either it would have some kind of dorsal fin on its back that the hunters can shoot when it's actually tunneling, so it's not completely overpowered and just, you know, you're skipping damage completely if you burrowed. I have a feeling it would have had some kind of spike or anything on its back, which is what you target while it's burrowing under the ground. But obviously the ground would be, with how detailed this game is, the ground would be like lumpy where it is. You know, you'd see the ground being pushed up kind of thing, where it'd be going. All that kind of stuff. They'd probably match that shit to terrain as well, so if it's using it under stone, you'd see flagstones bursting up where it is, you know? All that kind of shit. Fucking insane, dude. And obviously we also had the Queen Gorgon. She was a variant that didn't quite make it to the game. She was placeholder to what we saw. She was going to be able to mind control hunters. So we had somebody that could actually take control of your character, a monster that could actually do that as well. Everything was unique. 10 years of Dead by Daylight, what have we got? We've got like 2 unique killers in the game. Because everything's just literally a fucking recycle of everything that's being done. I think the last genuinely unique killer, or something that at least tried to innovate, was probably the Xenomorph with the tunnels, where you could actually physically go into the tunnels and move around. I think that's the last thing so far that they've done. Dredge was kind of one, but then Dredge served as a platform for literally every fucking traversal-based killer since. You know, where you just pick something that's in the map and teleport to it. You know? And all that kind of stuff. Like, it's so fucking dry in comparison, mate. It's insane. You know, don't speak about it. Don't strive for better. Don't fucking dare criticise the fat, obese fucking parasite that has sat on this genre for the past 10 years and held it back. You know? So I'm telling you now, mate, if we lived in a timeline where if this game actually had a decent publisher that could understand that it's making the same fucking mistakes with this game over and over again, and the reason this game is dead isn't actually down to the game itself, down to the fucking management, yeah, of how just completely fucking disillusioned we are as a company when we try to revive this game by putting a load of fucking keys in a public Discord server and then scratching our heads because they all got scalped, you know. Who could have predicted that would happen? We'd actually get something back in this genre that resembles something of a fucking modern video game. And the irony there, fellas, I said at the beginning, is this game is 10 years old. Right? 10 years old, and it still looks like it could have been released today. We all like to hate on TRS, we all like to hate on the fucking bandwagon like a bunch of fucking cattle, you know, because our favourite YouTuber tells us that they don't like it, that they're turning guns blue. You know, our favourite YouTubers these days that are using fucking loot boxes and gambling content in Call of Duty and all this wank to make their careers out of, you know, all that kind of shit. Well, no, you know, it's fucking blasphemous or whatever you want to fucking call it, you know. Just open your eyes, people, please, and just see what an actual good game looks like, you know. It's dead, it's not got as much content, you know, all that kind of shit, but look at it for what it is. Look at what it could be, you know. Animations, atmosphere, hunter voice lines, the fucking lore of this game was peak, yeah? It was an unhappy ending for everybody involved, you know, the world is ending. These monsters have come to this world and it's destroying the world along with it. You know, a fucking scientist in a bid of desperation injects the first 3 monsters' DNA into herself, and she was going to turn into a playable boss monster in this game, Carly, who, you know, comes from the hunter Carla, because they're all the monsters are also named after gods. You've got Gorgon, you've got Wraith, you've got Behemoth, you've got Goliath, you know, you've got Kraken. You know, they're all deities and gods, what they're named after. Gorgon obviously being the snake ladies, you know, from, I think it's Greek, I don't know. Then Kali's the Hindu god of death, you know, because she was literally the fucking end times as well. Which you watched the way the war was going, what she'd be, you know, because she was literally an amalgamation of Goliath, Kraken, and Wraith, the first 3 monsters, and we were actually going to be able to play as that shit, you know. As like maybe that she would have been the stance shift kind of monster, where you'd probably switch between the 3 OG monsters and have their own sort of flavour on each of their abilities, you know. We traded that in, fellas, to run around in fucking circles in a forest by a guy with a knife. That's it. And a very badly animated guy with a knife at that, you know. And now we've reached the point in time where the game's got legs, it's got popularised, Twitter have sunk its fucking talons into it, and now it's just literally a hand-holding, slap on the wrist fucking simulator designed for Twitch content and clip farming. That's all it is. That's the top of the ASIM genre, and people are just fucking sleepwalking. Like they don't see what's going on with it, how fucking shit it actually is compared to what could have been. But, you know, demonise me every time I make a video about it. You know, monster here. You know, IRL monster apparently. You know. Oh, you sound so depressed. You sound so depressed. Stop being so fucking negative about everything. You know, you've got to be completely complicit with queuing into a power roll in this ASIM, having the piss took out of you, and having some of the shittest fucking animations we could possibly imagine. You know, all this kind of shit. Be complicit with complete, utter mediocrity. Or you're the problem. Fucking insane. Absolutely fucking insane. And there it is, you know, I hate to put the downers on it, as I say, but we're probably looking at the same situation as fucking O is with Carnival Lump, fellas. We've got another ASIM that's very well animated, has a very dark atmosphere, actually does resemble a horror game. There's not fucking Fortnite skins all over it now. And, you know, it's probably going to go the same way. We're going to get fucking 2 weeks out of it, 2-3 weeks, and it's going to die. Because again, we've got a fucking parasite sat at the top of the genre, you know? Fucking just, I've said it in the past, fellas. I went to sleep one night, sometime during 2016, like late 2016, after I'd been, you know, we'd passed the initial release of this game, and then it started, the point where it actually started to properly go downhill. I woke up in the wrong fucking timeline one morning, where it fell off entirely, this genre. It fucking fell off. Really did. There you go. We'll end it there. Hope you've enjoyed. I will hopefully see you for the next one. Bye.